So you want to start dropshipping with AliExpress. Well, today's video is going to cover absolutely everything that you need to know in 9 easy questions. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so question 1, why do so many people fail with AliExpress? Look, most people don't fail because AliExpress is bad. They fail because they treat AliExpress like a supplier instead of what it actually is, a marketplace. AliExpress is just a platform. The sellers on it are the actual suppliers, and those suppliers vary wildly in quality, shipping speed, and reliability. If you pick the cheapest listing, ignore reviews, and never check shipping details, you're basically gambling with your product in your store. When people say that AliExpress products are bad, they're usually describing a supplier choice. Once you understand that difference, then honestly at that point, AliExpress pretty much immediately becomes a lot easier to use in the correct way. All right, question number 2. What is AliExpress actually good for? Well, simply put, AliExpress is best used as a product testing platform. It has a massive catalog across almost really every single niche you could think of, with low upfront costs, and it lets you validate demand before committing to inventory or for long-term suppliers. Now, what it's not meant for is blindly just building a premium brand without actually vetting those suppliers. If you treat AliExpress as a testing ground instead of, your forever solution, it becomes a huge advantage instead of a liability. All right, next, how do you find products that are already selling on AliExpress? Now, AliExpress actually has a built-in tool called the Dropshipping Center, also known as the DS Center. To access this, it's completely free. You just need to sign into your account. And really what it is just a free research hub that shows products with real sales activity, order volume, growth trends, and ratings, which beats just randomly scrolling through all the different listings. And inside the Dropship Center, there are 2 areas that actually matter, or that really matter. One is going to help you find products to sell, and the other is going to let you analyze specific products' performance. The important thing to understand is that this tool shows you what's selling, not whether it's safe or smart to sell, and this is very important. You'll still see things like copyrighted items, branded products, and products that you really should just avoid. Your job is to look for generic products with real demand and clean signals. Now, how do you avoid bad or risky products? Look, just because a product is trending doesn't mean that you should sell it. Honestly, just keep it simple. Avoid anything that's obviously copyrighted, branded, or tied to any major IPs. Those products might sell really fast, but they also shut down stores really fast as well. Instead, focus on generic products that solve an actual problem, have clear use cases, and don't rely on a brand name to sell. If a product only looks appealing because of a logo or a character, it's not worth the risk. So, how do you choose the right supplier on AliExpress? Now, this is the most important part of AliExpress dropshipping. When you search for a product, you'll see dozens, sometimes hundreds, of different suppliers. Instead of choosing the cheapest one, which I know that a lot of you do because I used to do the same, start by looking at order volume. Suppliers with higher order counts are already fulfilling real orders, which usually means that they have better logistics and fewer bad surprises. Next, you want to check the rating. I personally don't go below 4 stars, and ideally you do want 4.5 stars or higher, but 4 is okay. And from there, open multiple suppliers for the same product and start reading the different reviews. Look for reviews with photos, detailed feedback, and real usage experience. Look for images. Pay attention also to patterns and repeated complaints that could actually matter more than one-off issues. Also, you always want to check the 1-star reviews. 1 or 2, it's not a deal breaker, but repeated complaints about defects or misleading items or even broken products definitely are. Now, one bad supplier, honestly, it can kill a really good product. So this step matters more than almost anything else. Now, how should you price AliExpress products without losing money? Look, AliExpress loves showing huge discounts, new user deals, flash sales, and crazy just like random percentages that you're going to get off just because. Ignore all of that. Every single sale price, ignore it. Always base your pricing on the normal cost of the product, not the temporary discount. If you price your products based off of a sale and the price goes back up, you're going to be losing money. A simple rule of thumb is multiplying the product cost by 2.5 times to check if the product can realistically be profitable after fees and ads. After that, check your competitor pricing. You don't want to come in way above market, and you don't want to essentially race to the bottom either. And if you can't stay competitive without sacrificing quality, move on to the next supplier or the different product. Now, how bad is AliExpress shipping in 2026? Really? Long shipping times, they're not across the board anymore. But you still have to be intentional. Always check delivery estimates on each of the product pages. Look for multiple shipping options and see if faster delivery is available, at a couple of bucks more. If it's like maybe $1 or $2, it'll help you out and it'll be good for your customers. Sometimes paying a couple of extra dollars on shipping is going to massively increase that customer satisfaction. Also, pay attention to the tracking quality, especially if you sell on platforms like eBay that care about valid tracking numbers, like let's say FedEx, DHL, or UPS, and they don't take, Q-track. The goal here isn't necessarily perfection, it's consistency and transparency. Now, this is a very big one. I've seen a lot of people ask this, and it's, will customers know that their order came from AliExpress? Look, no, they're not. Most AliExpress suppliers ship with neutral packaging and blank invoices, meaning there's usually no pricing or any AliExpress branding that's included. That said, you should never assume. Always message the supplier and confirm exactly what's included in the package, or just order a sample for yourself. Now, if branding really does matter to you and you want a lot more control, this is where other options can start to make sense. Like let's say with AutoDS private suppliers, you can add light branding, like inserting a thank you note or including your logo on the invoice, which helps orders feel more like a real brand experience and like a more personal sale. Now, some AliExpress suppliers can also do this. They can insert some custom inserts or branded invoices, but usually that is going to come with an added fee and needs to be negotiated directly with that seller. And it's going to be different from seller to seller or supplier to supplier. All right, and last but not least, when does AliExpress just stop making sense? AliExpress is great for testing, but once you start getting consistent daily orders, manual work starts breaking down. Manually importing products, placing orders, and tracking fulfillment becomes very, very time consuming and very error prone. And that's when automation matters. At that stage, tools like AutoDS help you start streamlining things like, let's say, your product importing or your order management and fulfillment. So that way you can focus on scaling instead of actually placing the orders yourself. The key is using the right tool at the right stage of your business. And if you do want to check out AutoDS to help you streamline and automate your entire dropshipping business, make sure you check out the description down below. There's going to be a link there for a 2-week trial for just $1. So make sure you don't miss out. So if there's one thing that you should take away from this video, it's this. AliExpress isn't the problem. Bad product selection and bad supplier choices are. If you use AliExpress the right way, it's a very powerful testing tool, and it's not a liability. So if this helped you, make sure to drop your biggest takeaway down in the comments with the hashtag AliExpress Dropshipping, and I'll send you over a cheat sheet with everything that we covered, all of these different questions and the answers. So with that, huge thanks to everyone for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. My name is Mario with AutoDS. Make sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and catch you on the next one.